see if it comes on immediately. It does! Caesar! That's my favorite time of the month, is to see if that plays auto.
Every time.
It just automatically plays, not our fault.
Here's the thing. If we look different, it's because we're hella fit.
Listen.
Because we just took our first beginner pickleball lesson.
I also got a haircut, which is probably mostly the different. But we played our first pickleball lesson. I'm still sweating.
Us, we're the youngest people by about 25, 30 years. Yeah, it was great. 8 a.m.
It was
pickleball.
so fun.
It was
pickleball, 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 8 on Mondays. There's nothing better.
Nothing better. A bunch of blue hairs. We had Barb, Nance, Ron, Lisa,
everybody.
Rhonda.
The best people.
All the best. All the best.
I am Mike.
I'm Nick.
That's Nick. We are here to do some rapid reviews, talking about board games.
Yeah.
Basically, we'll not talk about pickleball for a couple minutes.
And then
we're going to get through these board games as quick as we can, and we're back to pickleball. First of all, don't step in the kitchen unless the ball bounces, okay?
That's true.
That's what we learned today. That's mostly what we learned.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Pickleball made all the difference. Yeah, pickleball is a big difference core thing.
That's fine. We're, of course, doing this live, so if you're watching this later, like, why are they looking down to the left and talking to someone who's not there? That's a chat. Turn the live chat on if you're watching us after the fact. If you're watching us live, good Monday morning to you. Core thing, we do indeed have some caffeine here.
Indeed, we do. I got a little bit of chai.
Get a sip of that. I got a little bit of coffee. And get some thumbs up whilst we watch, either now or after the fact, because it really helps get this video out in front of more people, which we appreciate.
Review everything we played this month. Last month we had a really, really busy month. This month was much, much slower, but still got close to a game a day or so, which is pretty darn good.
Definitely solid. We recently did our kind of recap of the entire first half of the year.
Yes, so some of these you'll kind of see if you watch that whole
video. You'll see all of these are in there. We figured we'd give you just the month of June, everything we played last month, to make it a little bit more digestible.
Yeah, that other one is a lot, 280 games.
Go watch it though. If you want to get through half your workday or something, we got your back.
Yeah, it really talked though. So as in Murph's and Stephen Fair live stream at the same time, how am I supposed to be working this? To be fair, Stephen Fair is live streaming every day during this campaign, so it's kind of hard to avoid him at this point.
Tough.
Do you see the new announcement, the little button?
Oh yeah,
a little solo
it's like this big. I'm getting it.
Yeah. But again, so we're gonna go through everything we did. At the end of the live stream, we'll usually do a little Q&A. So if you have any questions, pop them in chat or pop them in chat a little bit later. First thing we always do is talk about the new patrons we got in the last month. Because
you can become a patron today.
You can become a patron today. So we'll go through our new patrons. Thank you so much for being a patron. If you're a patron in the past, present, or in the future, we really, really appreciate you so much. So big shout out to Vidya, Nicole, Shem Phillips, oh my gosh.
I mean,
what a legend. Shemmy Boy Phillips.
Of Garfield Games, you know.
Helen. I think our mom is, that might not be our mom.
I don't think that's our mom. Our mom is a Helen, to be fair.
Migtavius, I believe.
Boom.
Harry. Rainer.
Rainer, appreciate you.
We had to play a game with Rainer recently.
We did. It was freaking awesome.
Cassie,
we appreciate you.
Marty. And Tim, thank you so much for being new patrons. We appreciate it.
I feel like we had another person who resubbed for another year, so we appreciate that as well.
Indeed.
Seriously, anyone who's given before in the past, current, has supported our past Kickstarter or a future Kickstarter, or simply shares our videos around with people that they enjoy on Facebook or wherever, we appreciate all of it. It really means so much.
It does.
We got Christian out here checking out us live for the first time. Really looking forward to it. I'm watching in England. That's why we do this at this time, because we want it to be hopefully European friendly as well.
Yeah, I'm trying to hit some different time zones.
And kick back and relax to start your evening with us. We will get right into everything we played. We, as always, list off everything that's new to us. It was the first time we ever played it first, and then we quickly recap everything that we've played before. Generally, you know that we enjoy those games. That's why we've played them multiple times.
We generally enjoy most games.
Yeah,
it takes a lot for us to really dislike a game.
We're an easy crowd.
So, yeah. Yeti, I guess I've never been live with you dudes. Howdy. Well, we see you in the comments a lot, Yeti, so thank you so much for being here.
You're part of the fam, of course.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start this bad boy off with Caesar.
Yes.
So Caesar sees Rome in 20 minutes.
20 minutes.
I played like a quick demo of this at like a PAX Unplugged like 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, it would have been 2021.
We finally got a chance to play it. Floodgate Games has sponsored a couple live streams from us over on Twitch to play Blitzkrieg, Caesar, and then we're also going to be playing Dogfight. So next month on our Rapid Reviews, you'll hear us talk about Dogfight.
Yeah.
We got to play Caesar. I really like Caesar a lot. So these are two-player, all of this series of games is two-player, usually like kind of like tug-of-war type games. But as these...
Very tactical in that way. Very, don't let someone get too far in this area. Make sure you're protecting that area and going for this, yes.
Yeah, and they play in tournaments. They're super, super fast. And in this one, you're trying to control different parts of Rome, and you're putting out these little discs that will have two numbers on them. And when you put them on, you're putting them essentially on a border line. And so one number will be in one kind of province or district or whatever, and one number will be in the other one. And you're basically, once all the spots around that area are taken, then you basically see who won that area. And so it's a really cool, interesting tactical game that I like a lot. And I definitely like it a pretty significant more than Blitzkrieg, at least personally.
I do too. I think this
I like Blitzkrieg, but I really like
this one. Gets more spatial with the different areas, and then again, you're placing on the border between two regions and things, and how you're placing out your influence, what you're kind of ceding to the other person. There's also all these bonus tokens you can get, and the person who basically completes that area takes the bonus token, even if they don't win that region. So there's some stuff with that. There's different little modules you can add that are very small, but like there's poison, which makes certain areas like this game of chicken.
Yeah.
It's very interesting stuff. And you can even solo it. This game is amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so bad at it, but it's really, really fun. And the fact that it's kind of more of a spatial puzzle versus Blitzkrieg, which is just kind of more of a straight tug and war. This is a wonderful step up.
Yeah, a really fun game.
Not that Blitzkrieg is bad, but it's not. We enjoy it, but this is awesome.
It's really, really good. Really good. We got to play Crossbows and Catapults. So this is a new Restoration. I think it's still on Kickstarter right now. Restoration Games.
I think it's got like 5 hours left as of.
Oh, is that right?
I think we're on the last
as of recording this, okay.
I think so.
So, so this Crossbows and Catapults. This is a new game by Restoration Games where they're bringing back Crossbows and Catapults.
A new old game.
Indeed, where you build up a castle. With all these plastic blocks, and then you have crossbows and little catapults, and you're shooting at the other person.
Trebuchets.
Yeah, and you're basically trying to knock down all of their heroes. So they have a bunch of like soldiers and stuff, orcs or dwarves, and you're basically trying to knock them over. If you knock over all of them, you win the game. And so you're literally taking these discs and these cool little catapults and these cool little crossbows, and you're just flying them at the other thing and trying to knock them down, and it's super fun.
You can blast apart their castle, and and again, there's all these little figures that are out that might have like special powers and stuff, and you're trying to knock them over to wound them and take them out of the game and stuff.
It's really fun.
It's just pure chaos. Very silly, great for families. Because if you have kids, it's like just build up castles and blow them apart with the catapults and stuff.
If you have kids, this will be
you don't even need rules.
This will be your kid's favorite game.
Absolutely. It's redonkulously fun. It's very a la like Fireball Island, where there's a couple of rules holding it together, but really they don't do much to get in the way of like just flinging stuff at other stuff and knocking it down in a great way. Again, these are games that's like, this is pure fun. Pure fun. It doesn't try to be anything different. And it's got cool pieces. And what we even have is not even the funnest. They're pretty advanced prototypes, but it's like, they haven't,
nice prototypes for sure.
And those things freaking work. The little crossbows, like you just pinch it basically, and that thing fires, man.
Yeah, it flies.
I was like, this is wonderful.
It's cool.
And the catapult, you can actually like adjust the arc and stuff, and it really does matter how you do it to get more of a lob or a line drive.
It's cool.
It's really fun. It's really fun.
It's really, really good.
Highly recommend.
What's up, Reg? And Carolina will answer that question at the end. We'll do a Q&A at the end of this. But if you have any questions,
we don't get to it though.
Feel free to pop in the chat.
We have played it.
We finally got to play Darwin's Journey. So we backed this game a million years ago, got it a couple years months ago, and then just been so busy. Our July particularly was bonkers. We're so busy that we've had it for months. I hadn't had a chance to play. We finally were like, we have got to play this game. So I learned it, and it's incronkable.
Yeah, our June was super slammed, but we knew we were going to be doing our
July,
halfway through the year, recap, our top 10 on like how the year's been shaping up so far. And we're like, this game is very likely to be on that list.
Yes.
We need to play it to see. Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. And then it turned out that we really like it.
Yeah.
It's exactly our kind of game. It's from the same designers who did Newton, one of which is Simone Luciani, who did like Grand Austria Hotel and stuff. One of them famous Italian designers. And they do really good stuff.
Yeah.
They make games that we really enjoy. This one is similar to those games where it's pretty tight financially. You're trying to maximize
not doing that
every
many
little
actions.
thing you do. Yes,
you can combo actions. So a lot of times you do this like, I'm going to do the explore action, explore this island, but then this now allows me to do like the scroll action. And so you're trying to kind of cascade actions and do as much as you possibly can while trying to like not run out of money because you have like $0 this entire time.
Yeah, the money goes quick. So it's really fun. There's these actions that you can kind of unlock as the game goes.
Yeah.
There's a whole, I think the Fireland expansion or something it's called.
Yeah.
Which is like the other side of the board, which is apparently goes next level. We have not even begun to think about playing that, but like very excited so far with Darwin's Journey.
Yeah, it's very,
It was
very
worth
cool.
the wait. Which sometimes Kickstarters you're like worried.
You
like,
never really know. This one took a
Is it gonna be
while
worth the
to
wait?
get there.
Yeah.
So
Sure, it turns out it
and
was.
Brand Beard and there's a Darwin's Journey is very good. Yeah, it's. I'm so excited to play it some more. Oh my gosh, I loved it.
Yeah.
We had to play Dog Park. Well, it was your first time playing Dog Park in general, and then we got to play with the new Tricks expansion.
Correct.
Yeah, Dog Park. I've always thought Dog Park was good, but not like outstanding. I do like the new Tricks expansion. The new Tricks expansion adds some cool stuff. It kind of gives you some more stuff to do with your dogs in there. In the kennel and on the lead, and it just changes things up a little bit more, which I really like. My issue with Dog Park isn't so much. The main thing is I feel like the walking part of Dog Park, when you're taking dogs on walks and getting treats, all that kind of stuff, I always feel like that part is a little lackluster, and I always feel like it could be a little bit more. One of the new tricks though is like there's now like the walking part, there's like super locations, so it's even cooler now because now they add some
they're a little more dynamic.
Yeah, some actions you can do, and I really like the new tricks where every breed of dog now has a trick they can do, and you can train them, but you can't train everything. And it did add the game, made it a little more tactical, and I really like the expansion.
And one thing that's really cool is about half the tricks are tricks that dogs can perform if they're at the kennel, meaning they are not on the current walk. Which is really nice because now you have potentially one or two other dogs that aren't on your walk that are still doing stuff. So you're getting to do more stuff with the dogs, which is my like main complaint with Dog Park is, and I know it's like the game is the length that it should be. I can acknowledge that. However, it's like you do 4 rounds, you get 2 dogs per, only get 8 dogs. Not enough dogs.
Not enough dogs.
Excuse me?
So
I want
dogs.
15 to 20 minimum dogs always because they're dogs. This what you get. You're playing with the dogs a little bit more. I feel like so that is nice. I think this is a very nice add to the game. I don't know how much I'd recommend just the base game. For us, it's just like I'd rather play like Wingspan. Yeah. Like it feels like a little more dynamic and stuff. But the new tricks really takes it up another level, which is nice.
Yeah, ultimately, especially if you're a dog lover or know a dog lover, Dog Park is great. I think it's
art's amazing. The packaging's amazing. Game trays. The production is
the new tricks expansion
amazing.
Really
like,
fun.
Out of this world. It's a very good product.
Yeah.
Recommend it on that front alone.
We played Inventions, the new Vitalis Saturday game. We played it 5 times in 1 week because we got the game.
When's the last time we played the same game?
I don't know.
5 times in a week.
That wasn't a
let alone
small
5
game.
times, period.
Yeah, I don't know. It was tough. Well, because we needed to film it.
Yeah.
And we needed to. Vitalis Saturday games are obviously very, very big, and so we needed to play it.
You got to get
at least a couple times. We pretty much always play games before we film them. But usually, sometimes it's a smaller game. Like, we can play it like once, maybe twice. This one, we're like, we have to get at least okay at this game before we play it. Correct. So we played it 5 times in a week. At the very end of the week, finally filmed it. But yeah, it's a really fun game. This is another game kind of like Darwin's Journey where you're doing actions that then allow you to do other actions and basically trying to combo as much stuff as you possibly can.
Yes.
Where you're doing these chaining actions where a lot of times you're doing a chain action, and that then allows you to do a whole other action. And that action might allow you to do another chain action, and you can just make these really crazy combos. Bananas. I like this one a lot. I think it's really good. I'm curious to see where it's going to kind of end up in the Lacerdaverse, as we call it. I do really like it. No, we haven't.
Like I've played 4 at this point recently, I'll say. So we played Kanban, Weather Machine, On Mars, and Inventions. I'll put this with like Weather Machine. Probably Kanban's number 1 clearly for me at the moment. I think you're probably the same.
Yeah,
we haven't played Weather Machine but the one time, so we need to all these we need to play more to really know. But I'd put it with like Weather Machine, where it's like definitely enjoyed. I liked On Mars and Kanban better.
Yeah.
Kanban being way better.
Yeah, Kanban's incredible.
Not that
but
those
it's
are bad
really,
at all,
really
but
fun.
It's super fun.
And every game feels different because you're getting different inventions, and then on top of that, just the way every turn you're just trying to do as much as humanly possible because you don't.
And you will pull off some bananas turns.
Yeah, because you only have like 15 turns in the game or something like that.
Something like that.
So it's like you're really trying to get as much as possible. I thought it was really cool. It's really crunchy. I'd say it's heavier. It's one of his heavier games for sure. I would say it's definitely heavier than Kanban. I would say it's also heavier than Weather Machine, because also in this one there's a lot of kind of like little rules in this one, whereas I feel like Kanban is a little less of that. But I really liked Invention. I'm excited to explore it more. It was really cool, really cool. I like any game where you get to combo stuff, and this one is a really big, really heavy Euro game where you get to combo stuff.
By the combo.
Yeah, that's your whole thing. Very cool. You gotta play Mind Up.
Mind Up. This is a game that's on BGA, Board Game Arena.
It's called Buga.
This is a card game that was really fun. And I think it's maybe coming soon. I don't know if it's out yet, like IRL, but it's a really fun card game where you are trying to collect colors of cards. There's 5 colors and stuff, but every round you're going to randomly assign an order in which you can play cards and basically the value that those cards are. So the first color that you place down has to go to the leftmost card and say that's worth 1 point. The second column that you're going to be creating cards might be worth 5 points per card. So you want to kind of get one card out first and then really start hitting that second color. And you're kind of doing that based on what color you think you can control. Like I have a bunch of pink cards, so I want to try to make sure I can control that. But you're kind of bidding essentially for a card by playing, if there's 3 players, you're going to each play a card face down. When you face them all up, you're going to put them in order from low to high. And the cards that are in the middle, if you're the lowest card, you're going to get the leftmost card. If you have the middle highest card, you'll get the middle card. If you have the highest card, you get the highest. And that's the card you're actually collecting. The card that you like bid with essentially then goes into the middle and becomes the new cards that you're bidding for. So there's this kind of like sequencing that you need to do to try to collect cards and to make sure that whatever your most valuable column is, you're getting as many of those colors as possible, blue, green, or whatever. And there's little things that have like little plus or minus 1 point on them.
Right.
Super fun. It's just fun to kind of figure out like, and the cards are like 1 through 60 or something. You're like, how do I get the middle card? If I play like a 23, do I think that'll work? And of course, these people, everyone else is playing, thinking the same thing. So all of a sudden, everyone has low cards. You end up with the highest anyway. You're like, okay, well, I didn't want that color. But
I love any little card.
Really
like
fun.
That. Yeah.
Simple, kind of trying to like outsmart your opponents, but none of us really know what we're gonna play.
Right.
Really fun. Really fun.
Cool. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, he's a good one.
I got to play Motor City. You had played this one, but this one was new to me, so I threw it in here. Motor City is a roll and write by Motor City Games, and it's by the same crew that made like Flee the Dice game, and then Three Sisters, and now French Quarter, and they're all kind of similar in a lot of different ways. They're not exactly the same. Like this one, because I haven't played Three Sisters yet, but everyone's kind of like, oh, it's like kind of like the same 3 games, and I'm like, it's definitely different than something like Fleet.
It's the same in that you're inevitably kind of going up certain tracks and stuff, but like they all function very differently. Thematically, they're so different. I wouldn't say they're all the same.
But I do like this. So you're rolling out dice, and they're going to go on this blueprint board, and you'll essentially draft the die, do the action of wherever it ended up on the blueprint board. And then you get to put it somewhere in your kind of car factory, and then you get to do that action as well. And basically what it is you're just like bumping tracks, filling in stuff that a lot of times will allow you to fill this over here, and fill this over here, and then fill in this over there, and all this kind of stuff. And I really liked it. We've played Flee the Dice game a lot, and so we both kind of been like, all right, I'm kind of cool off Flee.
I do want to try the expansion for it. I'm curious what it adds.
And this was really, really fun. I liked it a lot. I really, really like talking about Kanban. I really, really like car factories as a theme. Factories in general, I think, are fascinating, but car factories particularly, I don't know. I think they're fascinating.
Yeah, I agree.
And so it's just really, really cool. I liked it a lot. I really still want to try Three Sisters. I want to try French Quarter. It's one of the things like I would love to have all of these games because it's just they're at this point
collection,
kind of a series. I think it's really, really cool. And so I like Motor City a lot. I thought it was a very solid game.
I really liked it a lot better on my second play.
That's what you're saying.
The first play I was like, sure, and then I was like, oh no, I enjoy this, and it was more puzzly than I remember. I'm glad I tried it again.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
And yeah, they're just, I like that they're doing a series. I'll just kind of keep getting them because
they're not expensive, you know. Yeah. So
it's a beefy rolling right. That's good. Yeah, like this.
Yeah, I'll take that any day.
Seriously, because I think Lisboa is still my favorite Lacerda. That's the next one I'm going to be learning, and I'm very excited.
Yeah, Galaris has been sitting on my dining room table for about 2 weeks now, and it has not gotten learned yet. It's open.
They're big, it takes some energy.
We've been busy.
Wants me to learn this bad boy.
Plays
are coming on next Tuesday.
That's coming next Tuesday. You played on Mars.
I did. It's really good. So we had played this once back in 2020,
long time ago,
pre-COVID. So that's like 4 lifetimes ago
at this point. Yeah.
On Mars is another big Lacerda. This one, all I remember from the first play was like there's like some sort of shared technology thing, and I didn't know how to go back to space and when to go back to space and Mars and stuff. And those things are still true. But this one's really fun. This is a really fun, like, thematic, it's just terraforming a planet, space travel, trying to, be on the edge of this new frontier is exciting. And so it's a really cool one where you're kind of going back and forth between space, where you're in your space station and stuff like that, and you're gathering supplies, working on technology and stuff. And then you go down to the planet where you're building out buildings. running your little rovers and robots around and stuff like that, and then kind of cycling back and
Going
forth.
back
And on
between
one
the
half of the
orbit and
board,
down, orbit
it's
and
like there's
down,
certain
right?
action spots and stuff that are only if you're in space, only if you're on the planet. And there's this whole kind of shared inventory and technology where you have a technology for this type of building or that kind of thing. So like I can make use of your technology. You will get a bonus as a result. You get to like a free technological bump or something like that. But I enjoy the kind of shared infrastructure that's there. You're kind of building things out to satisfy these objectives and stuff. And it's one that like, again, now that we're kind of playing some Lacerdas, I was able to get my brain around a little bit better. I did pretty well, so I was happy with that, and I'm excited to play it again. But this one's just really fun. It's a cool theme. It looks neat.
Yeah.
It's just
Tool Vita Lacerda thing.
Yeah. So again, I put it kind of behind Kanban, but so far in my Lacerda experience, it's the next one.
That's the thing. It's also tough. It's like Kanban. We've got to play, and I guess Inventions now we've played the most of any of them. Yeah. But Kanban we've got to play a number of times. Everything else we've only played like once, so we can't really.
So it's too early to like. Truly right.
Hanma just got their expansion that makes this co-op, and I'm really interested in that being co-op.
Yes.
What did we play recently that made it co-op? Oh, it'll come later. Terraforming Mars.
Yes, that's right. No, there's Mars stuff.
Indeed. We played Shipwrecks Redux. Shipwrecks North Sea. This is the new Garfield games. Again, it'll be on Kickstarter, I think still right now, at the time of recording this. I believe so. And so Shipwrecks North Sea was always considered to be the weakest link of the North Sea trilogy, and really the Garfield games whole collection, because they have such bangers all the time.
Seems to be the consensus. It was the first one they made and kind of the weakest.
Yeah, which is...
Shem's just seasoned
in a different place in his life. His beard's longer. Oh
no! You see, like on Board Game Geek, his little profile. I'm like, who are you?
I know, right?
He's got his little beard.
He's got hair and he's got a long beard. I'm like, So he decided to essentially remake this, and he's tried to do this before. The first time he tried to remake it, it actually turned into Legacy of You, which you were playing like yesterday.
I was playing yesterday, and I see all that DNA in Legacy. I'm like, oh, I see how. Okay,
interesting.
I see the parts.
But then he gave it another shot and remade it. And now this one is a drafting game where you're drafting out these village cards, which will be like Jarls and craftspeople and ships and buildings and stuff like that. Townsfolk, classic townsfolk
Cotton candy manufacturers.
Cotton candy, Orange Julius shops.
Rodeo clowns.
There you go.
A lot of rodeo clowns.
And you're drafting those out, and then everyone is playing them. It's kind of got some DNA of It's a Wonderful World. Shem was inspired by It's a Wonderful World, where you have to use every single card. And so every card also has you can trash it, essentially discard it, and you'll get a little, kind of like usually resources and stuff. And so you're putting on these cards. It's all simultaneous play. There's absolutely no player interaction, which we personally love. We love multiplayer solitaire. And I like it a lot. We played this game a number of times. We've played it at 2. We played it at 4. It works great because, again, you're just working simultaneously the whole time. And I really... Shipwrights is, like, up there for me in terms of, like,
fun.
The North Sea West Kingdom trilogy. I think it's in the top half for me.
Nice.
I really like Shipwrights a lot.
And I think this is also a really... We haven't soloed it, but the solo is very simple to implement.
That's right,
So I think it'll be a really great solo game. Just because you can sit there and play with your cards and try to be as efficient as you can and really maximize.
Super good.
It's really fun. I finally put together one great game of it. I put
you
together a good one.
It took you a while. You crushed our last game, It's a Wonderful World, too. So
yeah,
I think
they're starting to get there. Starting to
getting there,
the balance. The balance is so hard on those games. What to trash, what to keep.
We're going to play Stalker, the board game. This is based off of Stalker, the video game. This is a big old game by Awakened Realms. It did very well for them, which is good for them, you know. This is a story-driven game where you are you're playing as stalkers in this kind of like Chernobyl, kind of post-apocalyptic alternate
history
world kind of thing where there's like a bunch of mutated things around called snorks or like snork.
Yeah, there's people like living in this irradiated zone still.
There's like a bunch of like crazy artifacts and like gravitational anomalies and stuff. But this is a story-based game where every mission you're doing sets up the map in different ways. There's all these cards that go down on the board, which is a cool way of doing like, it's the same boards each time.
Yeah, but you can
differently.
like create information by flipping over that card. There's a little bit of a prompt.
Like, you can peek in this room and see what's in there. Oh, it's abandoned in there. Oh, crap, they saw me. I should probably shoot him in the face. But I really, really like this game. Yes. I like it a lot. We played the first mission. We played the first 2 missions. And they were pretty different, but both really, really good. I like it a lot because it's just fun to explore around. And one thing I like about this game, because I never played the video game, but it's kind of more stealth-based than it is like, I'm going to go in there and like Rambo it.
It won't go well because there's all this stuff around sounds. If you go in guns a-blazing, you're going to draw a lot of attention to yourself. Yeah. And it's like you don't have... Like I was rolling into a scenario, it's like I have a rifle with 3 bullets. It's like, use them wisely.
And you can reload it, but like really like
yeah, I
once.
had to put it in my hand and do.
Yeah.
It's like it's not that's not the vibe.
No.
Like you want to get around, like you do what you got to do, but you might cause more problems than you solve.
Yes.
By being like
Yeah,
really
you have to
like
really choose. Okay, I'm gonna shoot this guy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm gonna do that. I really liked it.
I loved that fact. I was like, that creates really interesting decisions. How do we move around? How do we stay as low profile as possible?
Yeah.
And I feel like we were able to be both the scenarios we played, be very creative in how we went about that stuff. Like one time I was like, I'm gonna throw a grenade through this building. It's gonna bounce around and blast that dude and create all this sort of sound over here. And we just kind of went around the corner. And it's like, that is so gratifying to be able to think of that, do that thing, and then have like, you know, a really clear outcome as a result of that.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, and
there's narration for like the story bits. At the end of every turn, you kind of turn the page of this book, the scenario book, and you get more story and stuff. It's just really well done.
Yeah,
it's really, really well
very,
done.
very well done. I thought it was really, really fun.
Really
Someone's saying, I saw this on one of your shorts where we unboxed because Wayne sent us a
Oh my
giant
God.
crate.
It's still over there.
And
Yeah,
there was a whole
it's
bunch of stuff in there, like
wooden
a gas
crate.
mask. The gas mask, all that stuff was just for fun, just because that's the kind of this world. The gas mask,
All
as far
set by
as we
them.
know, is not used in the game.
Well, we haven't played that many.
We haven't played
scenarios.
two
You don't know.
scenarios, so
We only got 2 in the box.
But yeah, I really, really liked it. I thought it was really cool and such
Really
a fun game.
Really fun.
Yeah. So speaking of, we played earlier, we got to play the Aries Expedition, the Crisis expansion.
Yeah, you just saw this expansion. This is one of the 2 that came in that Kickstarter that they did recently. You saw it in the store and picked up this one because it adds a cooperative way to play the game.
Yes.
Which is not simply like in just base terraforming Mars. There's like a 2-player variant where you're trying to basically terraform the planet in a certain amount of time. This specifically puts you a bit in the future where the planet is terraformed.
And it's kind of unterraforming at this point.
And like events are happening that are destabilizing the environment, destabilizing all of the stuff, and you're trying to kind of make sure it stays at the top of every track and stuff as it kind of ramps up as you go, which was a really interesting kind of twist on the way you play the game.
Yeah.
I thought it was so
I
fun.
really liked it because it felt different. You're so much communication. Like, okay, I'm going to play production, so you can play.
You do that.
You do development. I'll do production. There is in a 2-player game. I think you're always kind of playing a 3-player game.
I think so.
You kind of have a dummy character, so they're going to do stuff too. So you're getting to do all these actions. But like I said, every round there's a new crisis card that is revealed, and it has a certain amount of crisis tokens on it. And you can remove those crisis tokens by doing whatever's on the card. So it might be like you can remove one by flipping an ocean. You can remove one by playing a blue card or something like that. And the thing is if you don't get rid of them, it'll still stick around next round, and they're going to have a ongoing effect that's going to be like every single round the oxygen goes down.
And
one,
ocean
so
gets unflipped
you
or
need
whatever.
to be taking care of them. And it was super, super fun. I mean, I love Terraforming Mars, Aries Expedition, and Terraforming Mars, and just making it co-op really felt different.
Yes.
And was really, really fun.
And it makes you diversify your play because it's like, well, you have to do a certain amount of actions or something to get rid of this. So it's like, okay, well, let's make sure the actions where like maybe I'm not going to do that as often.
Yeah.
So like I think it
And
made a richer, kind of more full experience because you're having to do stuff, you know, according to what's happening.
It makes you play differently. Where sometimes like I would normally not play this card because it's maybe not the best, but I need to play this card because it's going to get rid of this crisis token. It actually, in my opinion, makes the game. You can kind of play in different ways, and there's different crisis cards for every player count. So you don't. There's scaling is really good, and there's more crisis cards that you're going to use in the game. So it's not always going to be the exact same ones every single time. I really, really like it. Hi, Paula. Paula also likes this one too.
There you go.
Yeah, I really, really liked the crisis expansion.
Easy, good
it was very, very good. It took a game I really, really liked and made me like it even more.
And now I hate it.
Yep, now I hate it.
Nick talked too much about it.
We gotta play Tobago.
We did. So this is one that we did play once way back in the day when we used to have a meetup that we would do every other Sunday. I think it was Sunday. Was it Sunday?
I don't know.
Friday.
No
It was Sunday. No, it was Sunday. I know what's going on.
Absolutely no idea what it was.
Who knows what it was? So we played Tobago once way back then, but we got a chance to replay. We've been playing games with certain Kickstarter backers and stuff. It's been an absolute blast. We've been playing a lot on Board Game Arena, Tobago being one of them that was recommended. And we played this, and it is... I remember playing in real life, and I just didn't understand the game in terms of like...
treasure hunting.
You're treasure
But
hunting.
you are getting to decide where the treasure is.
Exactly.
Kinda.
Because there's treasures on the island. And then as you play cards, it's going to give basically parameters for where the treasure can be. It's next to a palm tree. Okay. Well, any space on the board now that is not next to a palm tree is not where the treasure is. But then Nick might play, he's like, it's in the biggest jungle. Okay. Well, there's 2 spaces that are next to a palm tree in the biggest jungle. So now we know even further where it is.
Yeah.
And that, what I didn't understand, I'm like, well, how do I know the treasure is? Was like, well, you have to play cards and to make, like, it makes it true once you've played the cards to give the parameters that, and you can craft the truth of those. And so I understand that now, and being able to go in and play it now, and honestly being able to play this one on Board Game Arena where it takes care of the bookkeeping, which is a pain in real life. It's super fun.
Yeah, because when you put out a card, you have to either put cubes on or take them off, and it's very easy
like
to
what the
miss
possible
one.
spaces are.
Whereas BJ just does it automatically. This is great on BJ. I think it's outstanding.
Yeah, and then once you know where treasure is, you can race your little ATV over there to collect that treasure.
Yeah, there's so much like
amulets and
tactical
stuff.
nature where it's like, oh, there's 2 spots it could be, or 3 spots it could be. One is next to Mike, one was next to Paula, and one's next to me. So I'm going to play this card that means the treasure is next to me.
Yeah.
And you can do it where you're constantly trying to be close to the treasure so you can go get it, because you don't want to be like, hey, here's this treasure. There's the end of my turn. Guess I can't go get it. And Paula swoops in and grabs it, right? And so I freaking love Tobago. But I honestly think the digital version might be better because it just takes care of the bookkeeping and it's snappy and fun. Man, I freaking like Tobago.
It's really fun though. It's really fun, and the production, the physical production, is really cool. Those like statues are really neat, and they turn and stuff. It's a really fun game. I'm so glad we got a chance to play it again because I just didn't understand. I didn't understand.
It's cool.
Hello
It's
from
very
Brazil.
Cool.
Hello to you.
Hello indeed. Everyone in the chat, tell us where you're from. Where you
Pop
living.
off and get some thumbs up on this video.
We played Tribes to Win a couple times here.
We did. It's a fun one.
I really like this one a lot.
lot.
This is a game where it's also kind of a post-apocalyptic game where we've destroyed the planet. And so we now are living in
These themes are showing up more in games. I wonder why.
We are living now in the forest, and we're essentially trying to reforest the kind of desolation. And we're trying to reforest it and kind of move back into that area. But again, we gotta
make it habitable.
And this game is cool because you're essentially going to be only doing a couple actions, but you playing cards to do so. Yes. And the cards are really, really cool because to do these different actions, it's going to depend on your neighbors a lot. So to do this one, there's always going to be some kind of requirement on every card you're going to play. So it's basically like, I can do this action if I have more element cards. The element cards are the normal elements: air, fire, water, Taco Bell. And so you're like, okay, I have... To play this card, I have to have more fire than at least one of my neighbors. Okay, so you look over and you're like, okay, they have 3, I have 4, they have 5. Okay, cool, I can play this card. But then on most cards, if you have more of whatever than both of your neighbors, you get to do the better version of that action. Or it might be having less than them.
Have less fire.
You just need to have, everyone needs to have at least one. Or you want to have a whole bunch amongst all of you. It's all these different requirements. And then you're kind of just like building out these forests. You can put little villages in the forest as you're kind of moving back in. It's
a race to get those villages out. Yeah.
It's really, really fun. We played it at 2. It's really good. We played it at 5. I think 5 is a little too much.
Too long.
The game drags on a little too long at 5.
It's about 20 minutes per player.
Yeah.
And when you're playing 2 or 3 players, it's like an hour or less.
It's
That's
pretty money.
Great. And it's just a little too long at 5. I don't know if that, Derek, you're asking if the game's balanced. I don't know what that means in terms of...
Balance
like
in terms of what?
Player count, like my only knock would be that's a little bit long, but it didn't feel different.
Didn't feel because you only
You're
care about
the
your
2 people
your
your
2
side.
neighbors.
So
the player count doesn't change for that.
Yeah.
I really like Tribal. It's got Vincent Dutrait art, which is great. It's a cool theme, and it's nice to have that concept. Okay, what do you have? Okay, I can't. Oh God, you got rid of your dang Earth. Okay, now I can't play this card anymore. And so it's just like I really, really liked it. I thought it was really quite good. Really quite good.
Brandon, it's Vincent Dutrait for Tribes of the Wind, but Quantra probably would have given it a go.
So those are all the new games.
Those are all the new games. That's
those are all the new games.
So again, not as busy as May was, where we were traveling and stuff like that. But you know, August is right around the corner. It'll be a Gen Con, so August will be bananas too. And July's getting busy as we go. So T was the first of the games that we have played before. Still really like it. I really enjoy this one. I know you do too. This is an Uwe Rosenberg game, so it has, you know, worker placement and those kinds of elements that you are used to. Of course, it all centers around feeding your people. But this one has a really great back and forth between you're taking stuff off your player board, which will unlock basically income that you're going to get for trees. You're trying to find a harmonious balance between nature and kind of as you're building up towns and villages and stuff in an area, and kind of working with the fruit bat population, realizing that like they help create trees and fruit and all this kind of wealth from the land, and the bats are kind of a vital piece of that. So that kind of the thematics of that, and then the balancing of taking stuff off your player board, which gives you all this income, but then needing to spend stuff from the cards that you have out to build your villages and bring it back on your player board. That ebb and flow is really interesting. I wouldn't put this at the top tier. Like it's not up there with like a Fields of Arle or Feast for Odin or Le Havre. But it's just one tier down, and it's still super good, and the theme and stuff is so unique. You can see it right there. Bink. I really love this one a lot.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
It's a quick game.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that top tier, but I really like it. I think it's great.
It's just,
the replayability is probably not as high as the other ones, but for us, it doesn't really matter. Like if you play a game 10 times, that's good. Like that's a good.
For us, I'm good on that. That's an amazing game.
That is more than you play most games. Trust me, you play games less than you think. And yeah, I really like it too. I think it's super cool. I really hope that Uwe explores that kind of push and pull tug of war with your own resources more, because I think it's really interesting.
That was a really unique,
I just think it's
different thing.
I think it's really fun. I like it a lot. I love the theme. It's
highly recommend still.
It's very cool,
and a little easier to get into, I feel like, than some of the other movies.
For sure.
Yeah.
Can't stop.
Oh, stop.
It's great. It's a push your luck game where you're rolling dice and moving up these different tracks. So if you roll a 7, you can move up the 7 track. You're trying to get to the top of 3 of them, but you can only work on 3 every round. So if I roll a 5, a 12, and a 7, those are the only ones I can roll. And so every time you're rolling, if you can't move up at least one of those 3 tracks, you bust and you lose all your progress, basically. So that's why it's can't stop, because you're like, I can get one more. Boom, and then you bust.
Like, of course I can roll a 7. It's the most common roll.
It's
you're
impossible.
Like, well, not that time.
It would be literally impossible for me to not roll a 6 right now.
It's great, pure push your luck. I mean, pure. It is so fun. The highs and lows, you can get on a roll. Yeah. And you are just having a turn, and it's so fun. There's highs and lows. It's exactly what it should be. It's a big stop sign. The board, it's great.
Yeah, it's great, and it's
10 out of 10.
Pure push your luck. Love it. You love to see it.
It's amazing.
Good play Cape of Europe. It had been a while.
Been a hot minute.
A while indeed, yeah.
Been a hot minute. This is such a good game.
Sleuthing.
You're sleuthing. You're a team of criminals. You're trying to rob these spots. You're in one of 4 European cities, which is good because they all provide a slightly different vibe.
Yeah, we played
a couple different
Rome
cards and stuff
time,
we played in Rome. And so it's just really fun. Again, another 2-player tug of war where you are going to be playing criminals and gear in alternating rounds.
Crimmies.
2 different locations, 3 locations. Each location can have 3 crew. Each crew member can have up to 3 gear cards on them, and they're all going to do things that influence the location you're on and kind of pull the influence toward you. And it's all kind of set collection-y stuff, where this one, when you play this card, for every green crew gear card that gets played to that location, you're going to pull the influence 1 space toward you. There also might be ones that give you points for the same kinds of things at the end of the game. And it's just really fun because you're like I'm focusing over here. Nick's just quietly like taking this location, or you can steal little artifacts and items and stuff for a bit of set collection there. It's really fun. My only thing I don't like, and I don't mind it because this is a 2-player heads-up game, is there's like these flamethrowers that burn.
I feel like I don't mind that as much as you do.
I just don't like having my stuff burned down, but it's also like you're criminals in a heads-up game. Yeah. So it doesn't bug me that much because I'm like, well, that's the game. Like, and if you don't want that to happen when you get the flamethrower, take it instead of letting it, because it's card drafting. Don't pass it on to somebody. Yeah. So it's like you can mitigate these things, but it's a super fun game. Amazing package. The 4 different cities all add a different vibe and stuff. Easy to get into. Great card drafting game. Yeah. It's super fun.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm glad we played really good.
Yeah, it had been
this
a
big,
while.
$25. I'm like, there's not many games for that price and size so you can get that.
Keymaster crushes it. I would play Carpe Diem.
The anti-Caper Europe in terms of production.
Yes.
Caper Europe, really amazing looking, nice
This is the good production version of it, and it's still pretty bad.
So bad.
But nonetheless, Carpe Diem is a game where you're building out...
The game is good, though.
You're building out an estate or something. I don't know. It's Euro stuff.
They don't even bother telling you.
No one even knows what you're doing. Basically, you're seizing the day. Who knows what that means?
Robin Williams knows.
Why is it called Carpe Diem? There's not a carp in the whole thing. It's not even about fish.
There's so many DMs, though.
Right.
Everyone's getting per diem.
So much per diem. But this is a game where you are drafting these tiles out and putting them in your kind of little state. And some of the tiles will be like vineyards, and you're basically trying to close off a vineyard, which will give you grapes. There's like little water things, so you can't get fish. I guess there is fish in the game. You can get like leaves and lettuce and stuff like that, and then you're basically turning those in during the scoring. And the scoring is really conditions. What makes this game, in my opinion, because there's kind of a grid of cards.
Yes.
And when you're scoring, you're going to put one of your discs in between two cards, and you're going to score both of those. But then that little junction right there is now taken for the rest of the game. Mm-hmm. So no one can score those two cards.
Yeah, you can't just keep hitting the same exact thing over and over.
Exactly.
Again.
You're going to have to go somewhere else. Sure. Those discs stay there. And so this one might be like you need to have a certain amount of like chimneys in your villas because
theme. Yeah.
And the other one means you have to turn in like 2 grapes. So you put it here and you can turn in 2 grapes, and then you have this many chimneys, you get points for it. But then again, that's now blocked, and so you have to get somewhere else every round, and it's really, really fun. I really love this game. I would kill for like a retheme because I think the mechanics of the game, the way you draft the tiles is.
We gotta make one, man. We could do it. What do you think we ought to do?
We have too many projects like that.
Yeah, because there's a lot of work to do.
We have 3 games. We're not going to talk about them because we want to kind of. We have 3 games that we're currently trying to like do big project / retheme on, and we cannot add another one.
All right, this is the next one to get added to the list.
Sure.
Once at least one of them's gotten it. We can only have 2.
Sure.
We can only be rolling 2 at a time.
2 in the chamber at a time.
Yeah.
It's really, really fun. It's a great Euro game, great Stefan Feld game. It's just really looks bad, and just the theme is so. Bleh.
Here's a line real quick that you can read in Paula's voice. A good villa's got to have more than one chimney. You know she went a little southern on it right there?
A little. That North Carolina came out a little bit. I can hear
Paula's voice so clearly.
I played Clank for the first time in a while, and I actually, when I bought the Aries Expedition, I bought Clank Catacombs. We haven't played it yet.
So we got to burn this, throw it away.
We got to burn this one.
Don't even need it. But Clank is a classic deck building, push your luck.
Yeah.
Dungeon delving game.
Yeah.
It's so fun, man. So in this game, you're gonna be getting cards. They're gonna allocate influence to buy new cards. It's a very kind of pure deck builder in that where you're gonna be buying a lot of cards. But then as you get cards, you'll have cards with swords and movement that allow you to move from space to space and fight off monsters and minions that might show up in the card row. And you're kind of doing this to get as much treasure and gold and loot as possible. But the whole thing hinges on the fact that there's a kind of a line where you're now underground.
In the depths.
And you have to be above ground to score. If you die underground, you're out.
You're done.
And in this particular game we played, we both died underground.
It was a really bad game of Clank, frankly. Like, we both died horrendously.
We were going for glory.
Because you're making noise, and noise is called clank. Whenever you have to add clank, because the card you play means like you're sprinting, so you're being really loud. You're adding clank, and then when these certain cards come out into the buying row, you then take all the clank cubes, throw them in a bag, and then you draw out a certain amount. And if one of yours gets drawn out, that's a hit on you. And so you don't want to do a lot of clank, because that means you have a ton of cubes in the bag. And yeah, we just were both playing pretty fast and loose and got destroyed.
A little bit.
Love Clank. We played on the gold map, because we have like 8 different maps technically.
Yeah.
And we just got Clank Catacombs, and I'm really excited for Clank Catacombs. I do think once we play Clank Catacombs, we probably won't play this version anymore, because it's just seems really, really cool and probably better.
Yeah. I just like the variable. You don't know what the dungeon's going to look like, and you can set it up, as you go.
We'll play that this month at some point.
Yeah.
What are we playing tonight?
Tillatum.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah. I should have thought about that, though.
Yeah. But Clank is great. We've been playing some Dwarf from Antique, per usual. It's a great game.
Good.
It's a great. Mike had a good short about this. How this is a great, perfect game to start your game day off with.
Well, someone suggests that in the comments. They're saying that, and I had already been doing this, but I hadn't thought about it. And they're saying that like this game is perfect because it's a really simple tile laying game. And in fact, on your turn, kind of like a Carcassonne, you're just flipping over a tile and placing it. But since it's co-op, we're all working together and we're talking it out. It's a perfect game to have people literally hop in the middle of.
Yeah, because you can hey, you place this tile. Okay, boom,
okay,
bye.
what's going on? Oh, what do we need to do? We're all going to kind of talk about where we think it should go anyway and stuff. So it's a perfect game to start a game night because not everyone's going to arrive at the same time. So if you have that friend that's perpetually late, it's like start playing this. When they get in, they can hop in. So you're not sitting around for 30 minutes like, well, I don't want to start a game because they might arrive. Then what are we going to do? Play this. It's a really fantastic game for that. It's so fun. We played a pretty bad game of it.
We also had a bad game of this. Didn't we have a bad game of this right after our game of Clank? Our Clank game
Our
Clank game went
we were
fast.
Off that night.
Yeah, our Clank game went so fast that we were like, we should play something else. We played Dwarf and it had probably our worst game of Dwarf from Antique too.
Yeah.
It was a bad day apparently.
Weird.
Great game.
Yeah, what are you going to do?
Great game. We played Feast for Odin. We played Mikey's favorite game here.
It's so good, girl.
It had been...
I don't know.
Like you're blocking. You're like, your spirits. But yeah, A Feast for Odin is great. Your Vikings, worker placement, do a whole bunch of million things you can do. It's really, really fun. You like it. I think it was in my top 10 or close to it. It's Mike's #1 game. It's very, very good.
That was not in your top 10.
I don't know. I think it was like 13 or something. I don't remember. I think our top 100.
God. I remember now that I was very angry about it, and I'm angry still.
Where's viticulture for you? Way lower.
No, it doesn't matter.
You played... we both played Geekopolis. We played this with Rainer.
We did.
Indeed.
Oh, Geekopolis is so good.
Geekopolis
Played this on Board Game Arena. Works quite well over there.
Indeed. Yes, it does.
This, you've heard us go on and on about it. I'm still constantly amazed by it. I think it's so wonderful. I love that you can do card drafting, engine building, area control, tile placement, name anything else you like.
Negotiation.
It's so good. It's just really fun. It packs so much in, and the best thing about it, it's like 45 minutes. It's very fast. It's very quick. And yeah, I will sing its praises to the end of time. It's so good.
Yeah, it's very good. Mikey loves this game. Was
that slander?
No, you love it. I like it. I don't like it nearly as much as Mike does, but I do like it quite a bit.
Let me hit that again.
Hit it with a block again. It's this hand. I don't know why. You're just like, dude. Boom! I'll take it to the state.
Because I'm a pickleballer now.
Yeah, Mike.
I'm on the defense.
We're crushing pickleball earlier. God, it was great. Play Green Team Wins. We finally just bought Green Team Wins.
Finally,
looking for it everywhere.
Barnes & Noble provides.
Let's go
that and That's Not a Hat. Stoked.
That's Not a Hat is...
Maybe we're bringing that to Gen Con for sure.
Oh, God. We're going to play so much That's Not a Hat at Gen Con. Oh, my God.
You can play up to 8 players. You know how crazy that game would be at 8 players?
No,
oh, my God.
Green Team Wins, though. Really good game. This is another word association game where it'll be like, you'll pick a card and that card will tell you it'll be a this or that, like ketchup or mustard. Mustard's the answer. Or it could be like a fill in the blank, like blank mustard, yellow mustard's the answer. Or it could be 3, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard's still the answer.
Yeah.
And then everyone is going to write what they think on there about that. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to match the majority.
You want to be in the with the popular kids.
Not necessarily your personal choice, what you think everyone else is going to say. Because if you are in the majority, you're going to end up on the green team. Green team wins, green team's the best, orange team's
the only team.
So if you move on to the green team, you'll get a point. If you're already on the green team and you stay on the green team, you get 2 points. And then if you go on the orange team, you die. And so
you get burned alive.
You get killed. You get burned to stake. And so that's all you're trying to do is you're trying to get, but there's just so much contention where people are like, really? You chose honey mustard? Who even likes honey mustard?
The honey mustard is a specific example that we're still angry about, and I argue with the Foster the Meeple crew
every day,
most weeks.
Yeah, most days. I put a mustard glaze on that pork shoulder just to spite them.
Oh man,
indeed. Apollo said that's not a hat. It's more fun than it has any right to be. That's how I keep describing it. I say this game has no right to be as funny.
It's so funny and stupid. It's just a pure memory game.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
It's so great.
We're not even talking about it, but it's so much fun.
You just realize your brain is a leaky sieve, and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, there. I sold a little Lost Rooms of Arnok a couple weeks ago. Because Mike hates me.
He doesn't ever want to play with me.
You're rude. And so I floated a little Lost Rooms of Arnok. I freaking love Raw. I'm really, really curious. When we do our top 100 this coming May. I'm really curious of where this is going to end up for me because I seem to like it more and more every time I play it. Now with this new expansion, which we should be covering the next couple weeks, I'm very, very excited about it. I'm just curious. I like Lost Ruins so much. I just love it. You're constantly trying to extend your turn, trying to keep going. I love that as a concept.
You move up this thing, it gives you that bonus.
Oh, now I can do this action. Oh, now I can do this action. You're just constantly trying to go. You're finding cool artifacts. It's just got a really cool theme to it, a really cool thematic integration. It's just, I think it's outstanding. I think it looks really pretty.
Looks a beaut.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, so we are going to be covering the Missing Expedition, which has a 2-player and solo campaign.
Yeah.
Hi, Rip. So we'll be covering that in the next couple weeks before.
Is it solo?
I think you can solo or 2-player.
No, it's not solo. Is it co-op?
Yes, yeah. I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Actually,
too,
I don't know that. I think it's co-op.
Sir said, I'm using Green Team Wins as a group activity at camp next week.
Yeah.
It'll go over great. It'll go over great.
My wife's going to bring it to work and do the same
thing. Is that right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Played Nana again. Love Nana. This has kind of become our big evangelism game recently.
Yeah.
Nana is Go Fish for Gamers. It's coming over as Trio. Mm-hmm. It's kind of got like a Dia de los Muertos kind of thing. It's kind of got the paper cutting kind of theme to it.
I actually like the look of it.
I actually like the look of it too. I like this one a little bit better, but Trio it's the exact same game.
Yeah.
I know.
I think they're calling. We were talking about that in the comments about why they call it trio. It's because you're collecting 3 of cards. A trio of cards.
That's a good point. Yeah.
It's 3.
Boom. Yeah. So this is a game where
Apparently Nana means 7.
You're trying to find trios of cards, as Mikey said. If you find 3 cards in one turn, that's you winning a challenge. You get to keep those cards. You want to win 3 challenges. But everyone has their cards in order, low to high, and you can only ask people, like, Mike, what's your lowest card? And then Mike has to show his lowest card. And then I can go, Paula, what's your lowest card? And then Paula has to show her lowest card. What you're trying to do is find all 3. So then, and you can choose yourself. So if I know Mike's lowest card is 3, I'm like, Mike, what's your lowest card? Paul, what's your lowest card? And if I also 3, I'm like, Nick, what's your lowest card? Boom, I collected all 3 3s. But if I put a 3, whoa,
sorry,
whoa. On behalf of everyone here watching, thank you for these live episodes. You guys make this hobby even more fun with your content. Peace and love from Kuwait. Wow, holy crap.
Thank you.
Mohammed, thank you so much.
Very generous gift. Thank you so much.
Wow, that is incredible. I was going to say drops and dangs. We don't have our emotes here, but wow, thank you. Everyone say thank you, Mohammed, in chat.
Thank
you,
Mohammed. Wow, sorry, that completely derailed everything. Thank you
I've never seen a
for
pink
that.
one before. I was
I
like, what does
that mean?
You're confused when we're talking about open the live chat.
Shout
Mohammed,
out to Kuwait, man.
thank you so much. Again, big shout out to Kuwait. Jeez. Thank you so much. But yeah, so you're trying to find challenges. If you don't succeed in that, then everyone picks up their cards, but now you know where they are. It's really, really
That's
fun.
the memory element, yeah.
God, Mohammed threw us off there. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. Holy crap.
World. Jeez Louise. Amazing.
We played Next Station London.
Yes.
After we played Gigapolis.
Yes, we did. On Board Game Arena, there's also Next Station Tokyo, which I'm playing right now, and I do not know what's happening. But I'm doing okay. Next Station London is a wonderful roll and write route building game where you are basically getting symbols. And in each round, you're going to be drawing a different color. So you pass these pencils around.
Yes.
You're going to be drawing a different color, which is going to be like the green line and the blue line and things like that.
On subways, you know.
And you're going to have to go from kind of station to station based on the color of a card, or sorry, the symbol on the card that comes with the shape that comes up.
You have to go from wherever you are, you have to move to a circle.
Yeah, and in this
square.
one, you want to get into as many different kind of districts as possible and also cross the Thames as many times as possible.
Yeah.
And it's really fun because, like, again, you're playing 4 rounds, and you can't directly, like, cross through a route that's been drawn before. You can stop at the same station and stuff so long as there's space. But, you know, you're kind of trying to build out in a way that keeps the rest of your map open for the future rounds.
Yeah.
And so it's just a really fun, simple roll and write in that way. This kind of, to me, is like Metro X is thematically similar.
Yes.
And play-wise, it's not.
Yes.
But Metro X is so brutal.
Yes.
And this is a little bit lighter and easier.
Yes.
And I really enjoy this one. I want to get Next Station Tokyo as well.
Yeah, I really like Next Station London.
Works great
I think
on Board
it's
Game Arena.
really, really fun. And yeah, I'm in the same boat where it's like I like hard roll and writes.
Yeah.
Roll and writes being brutal is like right up my alley, but I need them to be a little bit open, and this is the perfect amount of open, whereas Metro X to me feels too hard.
It's brutal.
But yeah,
Samurai Point City. It's similar looking. I don't know, but it definitely looks in that style, doesn't it?
So I like Next Station London better than Tokyo.
The Tokyo is more crunchy for sure.
Okay, interesting.
And I haven't looked at the tutorial. I don't know how one really scores points in it.
Okay.
There's like it's very different.
I thought it was a new map. Okay.
Yeah, same exact thing in terms of how you draw.
Yeah.
Stuff,
Okay.
But, yeah.
We played Obsession. I really, really like Obsession. Obsession is really, really outstanding. This is a game where you are you're fancy people in Britain, and you've kind of lost a little bit of your flair. You know, you're trying to get back in it.
You used to be a great family, and you're kind of like
you're
not
like an okay
important.
family, and so you're trying to like put on
get back on the social scene,
having people come over and put on these cool things, and basically being like, nah, the Wessex family's cool again, kind of thing. But it's really, really cool because you're essentially getting these tiles. These tiles are going to be like essentially worker placement spots, kind of.
Yeah, they're events that you're hosting on.
Yeah, like I'm
going to
host croquet in the park, kind of thing. And then to do this, you're going to have to put some of your servants. You have like butlers and like maids and valets, things like that.
Groundsmen.
Different kind of fancy British people. The help kind of thing.
They need a lot of help.
And then you get to play, when you go to do these events, it'll allow you to play a certain amount of these cards. And these are going to be the kind of gentry cards. So you're going to have like famous people, fancy people. So when you're playing those cards out, some spots will be like, only the ladies are doing this. They're hanging out in the parlor. All the men are going out and going horseback riding or whatever. And you're playing out these cards, and those cards are usually going to give you like reputation and money. And yeah, it's really, really cool. And one thing I like about Obsession is it feels very different. It doesn't feel like anything else.
Yeah, there's
in the way that it plays, in the flow that it plays.
Yeah,
in.
because you select an event, and that dictates how many cards you must play.
Yes.
You have to have the amount of cards, and you have to kind of balance those servants and stuff, because a lot of the worker placement cards, a lot of the cards that you play along with the worker placement need servants as well. The tile almost always will require someone to kind of host the event and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's actually an interesting puzzle of trying to keep all these resources, for lack of a better word, available. Like, how do I have the right cards to play down? And when do I pass to be able to recruit my, recoup all my stuff? And if you have like one of your servants work, then they have a cooldown track. You can't make them work over and over and over again. They get the next day off.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm not going to have my butler next
like
turn.
that's
How do
not
I
accurate.
kind of... Yeah, but I appreciate this because it's better. There's better work-life
I feel like
balance.
in real life they had to work every day,
Yeah,
but hey.
better work-life balance here,
Yes.
so I appreciate that.
It's really fun, though. The theme is cool. And it's got a great production. It's just, like I say, I always bring up, it just feels different. It just doesn't feel like anything else I've ever played.
Nice.
I really like Obsession.
Great production.
Yeah, and it's just a cool one.
Yeah.
We played Tale of Tupac. We also played this one of our Kickstarter backers.
We did, yeah. Played a couple times recently now. It's just great.
Still a banger.
Still great.
Yep.
We played, a few months ago as well with the new
Deluxe
deluxeified
Master
version that's coming out. So it's been a lot of Teotihuacan recently. It's just a fantastic game.
Yeah, it's just good.
Yeah.
It's just good. Dice moving around. And I think that's the last one. Played Village Rails.
Yes, we did.
Village Rails is a great, again, the flex on flex. This comes in this tiny little box, and this is a game where you're going to essentially make a 3x4 grid of cards. And every turn you have to draw a new track card, and those track cards are going to have train tracks on them. You have to put them into your 3x4 grid. And then basically at the edge of your grid, there's going to be the start of these train rails, basically.
Yeah.
And then once they reach the edge of your grid,
space,
that train rail is going to be done. And so basically you also can essentially purchase these gold cards that'll be like, hey, on this track, you want to have as much forest as possible or something like that. There's a whole bunch of these different symbols you can kind of go for. So once that finishes, then you're going to score any gold cards there, and then you turn a Terminus card, which is kind of like the local population, what they want.
Yeah.
And you're like, I want on this train track, I want a bunch of farms.
They
And
have it on there.
and you turn those in, which essentially gives you more money. And it's just, this is a great little puzzle game. It's not super heavy. It's just a super lovely puzzle in a tiny little box.
It's great.
And your own little grid is about this big. It's super small. It's a great little flex.
It's one of the biggest flexes recently, where like
Make
games
your
are getting
game
bigger,
small.
bigger, and it's so pared down.
Yes.
And they give you a great puzzly game in a short
Like this
period
could
of
have
time.
been a normal sized card, but it would have been unnecessary.
Yeah, there's
You
no
know?
need for it.
There's no need for
it. And so like I'm like, thank you for doing that. When I saw at Gen Con last year, the box was only yay. I was
We were
just like,
like,
excuse me?
I thought it was like a Castle Burgundy sized box. Yeah.
which would have been fine. I was like, oh my gosh, like, the fact this is just so contained.
It's so good.
It's great.
Yeah, Village Rails, as people were saying, more brain burning than it looks at first. Yeah,
Yes.
it's tough to try to make.
You get
'cause
a full game experience in a short period of time in a
Yeah.
small space, but you
Because when you
will work
place a
your brain.
card down, every card is going to have 2 tracks on it. So you're always going to be working on 2 of your rails at once. So you're constantly trying to like, okay, I don't want to put this here because that works well for this one, but it really doesn't work for this one. So you're always thinking in these multiple directions, and it's just really, really fun. I think it's really good. I mean, I think it's an absolute banger of a game.
There you go. And that's it. How we do it. If that cover doesn't draw in, I don't know. And name, I don't know what will. Listen
Yeah,
here.
maybe.
I don't know if you're being sarcastic. How dare you? Also, happy summer. Hope you're enjoying yourself.
Indeed.
How we do it's one of our teachers in the world.
Indeed, one
Every
of the teachers.
teacher
Shouts
should
out
be
to the teachers,
applauded.
indeed. I know we have a
And
couple
paid
teachers in chat. We're like, oh, you're off
so
for the
much
summer.
more money.
But yeah, so that's everything we played this month. We'll go ahead and do a little Q&A. So if anyone has any questions,
Scroll back. I feel like we had a
couple here. Yeah, let's go back to the beginning of the chat.
Just to double check. But yeah, any questions about stuff we played, stuff that we're excited for upcoming? We will be
anything
doing
in general, really.
anticipated Gen Con list really shortly here. Maybe this week, next week for sure, if not this week.
Sometime soon here, yeah. Carolina asked, what are your thoughts on Hoplomachus Remastered? I like it. Hoplomachus is cool.
Yeah.
I think we played one thing wrong because the co-op was too hard.
And it was hard and long.
Yes.
And I don't think the game's going to be short, but I have to go back and figure out what that was, but
It was something about the fan track. We were doing something like that with Raw.
Oh, I think
we were always completely resetting.
And you should go back to the next threshold.
I think that's what it was. Yeah,
because we're like, we can't get up this thing.
I like it. I like chip theory games. I think in the end, kind of like the first Hopalama's Victorian, which we'll be covering at some point in the fall. I think it's a solo game for the most part.
Well, this one was the original. Victorium's the new one.
Oh, was that right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought
this was the remaster of the original.
Oh, I see. Okay, my fault.
Yeah, I feel like chip theory in general, and I don't think that they. I think they know this. I don't think they try to hide it. They make solo games.
Yeah.
It was fun though. I'd like to play it again.
Yes.
But I think we were making our life a lot harder, so it felt a little bit like I can't get anywhere, and we're just getting slayed and trying to take out these immortals and stuff.
Yeah, it was hard.
But I like that you can play the
and
game
to be fair,
solo,
they do say like, hey,
cooperative.
This is really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. Again, I like these.
And I like that you're the Amazons or I think one of us was like Minotaur, like we were like mystical creatures.
Yeah, because you're choosing a faction.
Yeah,
and
so I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that was cool.
Cosby being said, on Mars Game House at some point here. We're not entirely sure when, but it'll happen eventually.
We're gonna go through all the Lacerdas.
Yes,
probably over the next year-ish.
We have access to On Mars.
We have 4, and a buddy has On Mars. So we can borrow. Yeah.
Bobby said, I'm excited for you to cover Dogfight. Caesar was my favorite between Blitzkrieg and Caesar until my partner and I played Dogfight. Played it 8 times in 2 days.
Oh my!
I'm excited to play it too.
Yeah, we're supposed to be streaming it this Thursday. We haven't received it yet, but we're gonna play it this week or next.
Busy said, this or Combat? I guess you're talking about Inventions. We both like Combat as of right now.
Yeah. Combat for sure. Inventions is and not in a massive way, but the theme and the mechanisms are slightly more abstracted. Kanban feels really integrated to the theme, and I think that helps.
Yes.
But yeah, Inventions is amazing.
Paul said, I like Escape Curse of the Temple to start a game night off because it's high energy, only takes like 10 minutes. Yeah.
Agreed.
It's a great choice for a start of game night.
And plus, if someone's arriving at game night, it's fun to watch people play that. So it's really, I think that's a great choice.
Indeed.
There's clarifications that, you can play the missing leaders, missing expedition expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnok, 1 or 2 player cooperative and then 3 players competitive. Normal. Yes. But you have more content.
Yeah, because you just get more leaders of that, which you can just play. Have you played Caesar with all of the expansions in the box? Any favorites?
Yeah.
I think it makes a full game. You play with them all.
Yeah.
Yes, I think we played it like 3 times in a row. First time we played it just normal vanilla. Then we played, I think, with the poison and then we threw everything in.
Added everything.
I think I'd probably add everything in because they're all very small expansions. I would never not play with the poison because I think it added a whole nother level of everything.
Because all of a sudden we're like, no one wants to play the second to last token in a region.
Yeah, which you generally don't want to do anyway.
And so it's just like, it made it very interesting. And I like the fact that you just, you shuffle, there's 3 poison, 3 of the Centurions. And you shuffle up, and then you take 6 out to account for those. But you might have all the poison, you might have all the Centurions, or you might not. So it just creates a little bit of variety there. I love it with all of it.
Throw it all in there. Play maybe once.
Yeah, work your way up.
Normal, and then. But I would never play without poison. I think poison made that game so. I already really liked it. I think it made it so much more interesting.
Yes.
Have you all had a chance to play Revive yet? No, we haven't.
Want
to though.
We saw it at BGG Spring, and I was like. Maybe if we can get our hands on it, I'd be happy to learn it, and we just never got around to it.
It said, I think y'all would be up your alley. Yeah, I think from what I hear about Revive, it'll be up our alley. So have you tried the solo for Granja at all? I got the new version, and I'm completely new to the game. We have not.
You got your new version already? We haven't gotten a notification
We're
yet.
just like so impatiently waiting for our copy.
I haven't played the new one solo. I've played La Granja on Board Game Arena solo. I can't remember enough about it, to be honest. And it's all automated, so it's like I couldn't say that we can speak to the solo experience. But I'm sure that they took care to make sure that that's really dialed in for this new version. So you should be in good hands with that, I would assume.
So impatiently waiting. Said, is there another drafting challenge on the Works fanny packs or wallets?
Indeed. We have a few.
We have a couple different ideas for you. Yeah, we'll be doing another board game challenge hopefully the next couple of weeks. We got to figure out exactly what we want to do for it. But we really like doing those challenge videos, those kind of draft videos. They're just super fun for us to do, and people seem to really enjoy watching them. So there'll be another one soon. We're not entirely sure what it's going to be next.
Yeah. We have some stuff in the works, but we also have our long-awaited and anticipated first board game roast.
That should be coming out this Thursday.
Video coming out this Thursday. So
it's going to be fun.
We got to destroy y'all.
Said, Nick, are you excited for your upcoming Disney trip with Fox and Meeple? Not really.
Lying, dude.
Mostly because I have to hang out
I'm
with
super
those
excited.
two vets.
Every day, I am invested heavily in their
Yes,
planning.
I'm very excited to go to Disney with Foster people. It's exactly how I said. It's exactly how I wanted to do Disney World, where I want to go with someone who knows.
You're going to be escorted through the
And I want to go with
parks.
someone who's going to go hard. And Foster People goes hard at Disney. They go like rope drop to fireworks every day. And Jamie knows every square inch of that place.
It's gonna be the exact. It's gonna
like-
be exactly what I got.
We've
And
been
it
in-
is amazing.
Yeah, we've been like Giant Tower East, which is like 5 minutes away. And like, I was like, I don't want to pop over for a day. If I'm going to do Disney World, I
Yeah.
want to do it. We're going for like 2 weeks. So yeah. Do you have a favorite leader to play in Arnok?
No.
You know who I didn't like the first time I played her? And then
Falconer.
I played, yes, and I played
I
her
didn't like
again
her the
recently.
first time either, but she's
I
cool.
liked her a lot more
Yeah.
the second time I played her. She probably still isn't my favorite. I like the Baroness. She's got a lot of money and you get a lot of items.
I like
which
the
is cool.
Professor dude, so you go really into artifacts. I like him.
They're
probably.
all really fun. I've really enjoyed all of them.
The Falconer was a great second play. The first play I was like, I don't get it.
I don't know if I played like the Mystic dude. I don't know if
I
I've played.
played
You
the
played him.
Mystic once, and it was really interesting. It is more complicated than the rest.
Yeah.
But it was neat. I'd happily play any of them though. I'm happy to just shuffle up and be like, there you go. They're all
Yeah.
cool. And I'm curious about I think there's 2 new ones in the new expansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, super excited.
Howie asked, have you guys played Millefiori yet? Because that has easily become my go-to game right now. Yes, we played it at BGG Con,
Pick
and
it up. I don't know where you buy it.
we will buy it the second we see it. If
It's so
we
good.
see it at Gen Con or something like that, we'll be buying it. Yes, it was incredibly
Amazing.
good. Great production, super simple, stupidly good. And we played it at 2. I think it'd probably be better at 3 because at 2 was a little too open.
Yeah.
Although, honestly,
3 would be nice.
people complain about that a lot. Like, it's too open. I love
Yeah.
big open games. So I want to get 1 billion points.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to get it at some point and play the butt out of it because
Yeah.
I really, really liked it.
For me, a game to start the evening is Jump Drive. That's the
It's like the quick
version of
Yeah.
quick. They're all quick, but super quick
Right.
Race of the Galaxy, right? And
hey,
Michael, are
Jay.
you?
Jay Rodriguez, thank you so much for the super chat. So glad to catch us live. We're glad you caught it live too. $9.99. Love it. Thanks so much.
Love that.
Appreciate you.
Thank you so
so
much for that.
much. Gosh, y'all are being incredibly generous today. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna ask Michael if I can't remember if you're gonna be at Gen Con or if I'm making that up. Who knows what's in my brain anymore?
I don't know.
Favorite Feld game, Castle Burgundy, 100%.
Yeah, it's Castleberry.
I like a lot. We haven't played them all either, but I mean, Castle Burgundy is just the clear one.
Yeah, it's Castle Burgundy is
Hard to
great.
beat.
I like Carpe Diem a lot. Honestly, I haven't played that many failed games, but Castle Burgundy I think is going to be the top one regardless.
Yeah, it's just hard to beat. I love Castle Tuscany as well. I really like Trajan. It's puzzly and difficult, but
Yeah, I'm less into
Bonfire was
Trajan.
cool, but yeah, Castle is just like
It's so good.
all time.
Um,
With our game nights, you have to be there at 8 short. If you are too late, yeah, you have to be lucky to find a table, or sometimes we split up after, but we want to play at 8. Oh, you want to play 8-player games. That is rad.
they want to play.
What are some of your go?
I think they want to play at 8 p.m.,
Oh.
not 8 player. God, that would
I
be
was just
wild.
like, man, that's crazy.
Gino
I'm
only
with
plays
that.
8-player games. That's it.
Yeah, I was like, what are the roster of those games? I mean, I get that. Try to show up on time if you can, you know,
sure.
especially if people are more on the punctual side.
Right.
You gotta make something work for your group, right? And especially if everyone in the group is with that and agrees and like that's fine.
Yeah. Azana asked if I've been working on the unmatched cards. I actually was working on them this weekend. So yes, they should be coming out hopefully very soon here.
very soon.
Have you played Archeo Society? No, we've played
wanna try
Ethnos
it.
a while ago, but I'm interested in Archeo Society. I was never a huge Ethnos fan.
Yeah,
so
I played
I'm
it
less like, yeah, I
twice.
can't wait to play Archeo Society.
Played
But
Ethnos twice, and every time I've been like, sure,
yeah, it's good.
that's fine.
So I like the way it looks now.
Yeah, it's super pretty.
It looks better. It's got a, but yeah, I definitely will play it. I'm not really like seeking it out though.
Just says 2 new ones talking about the missing expedition expansion.
Mechanic and the Journalist.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
It said, are you excited about Sagrada Arts? It's talking about my shirt. It said, I like Sagrada. I don't know if I need a Legacy Sagrada. Same. We like Sagrada. It's never been like our go-to game. I like Sagrada a lot. I think it's a great game. I think it's a great like kind of gateway-ish game. Especially if someone likes Sudoku. I think it's a great gateway for someone who likes Sudoku.
Yeah.
But I like it. I like it a lot, but
play through it.
I've never been like, oh my god, I love it. And I don't think I personally need a legacy version, but considering how much people love Sagrada, I'm sure people are going to be.
I'm
very
sure I
hyped
can get
about
like
it.
Karen to play it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm excited for it, but
Yeah.
I don't.
In a
personally
similar
need
boat
it that
though,
much.
like
Yeah.
I don't know.
The right answer is Bruges for
Haven't
for
tried it.
Shell.
I really want to try Marrakesh, new one.
Which will do better, Far Shore or Expeditions?
That's an interesting question. I will go Far Shore.
In the overall, Far Shore
Everdell
for
has
sure.
sold a lot. Stonemaier games sell a lot too. I don't know if I would. I mean, although there's been a lot of Everdell, I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I think
It's hard to say.
Far Shore will outsell Expeditions. But who do we... Here's the thing. We'll never get the actual numbers, so we don't know.
Yeah.
I think I'm correct. But, yeah, there's a lot of wide appeal with Everdell, and Stonemaier is only ever so slightly, because they are very popular, but ever so slightly more
Yeah, but I also feel
divisive.
like Far Shore is going to have a much wider reach with like
Lighter
non-gamers
game.
or just not more casual gamers. Whereas Expeditions, I don't think
Expedition is going to create a new board gamer.
Atlas asks, what popular game makes you most feel like you're taking crazy pills because you don't like it and everyone else does?
Gosh.
I'm trying to think. I feel like I have one here. Brass was probably for me. I feel like, although that's more divisive. Not everyone loves brass. Dang, Music Man, thank you.
Yo,
Hey,
hey, we're here for it. Thank you. I love the little...
Appreciate you. I
yeah.
know, like...
Must be doing it. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Music Man. Appreciate you. And thank you for your question about Caesar.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I can't recall now. We definitely have had that where we're kind of like, why? Why is this so popular? But I can't think of any at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll have to...
I don't know. That's a good
I'll
question.
text you if I think of any.
My short answer is Brass, but I know that one's not... I mean, it's the #1 game of all time, and I don't really like it that much. Although I need to try it again. I think I'm going to like it more.
Boy.
Barry said, how many games are your
amazing.
shelf opportunity? More than we think. We always think we don't have very many until we did our shelf opportunity video somewhat recently. We had a lot more than we thought. There's a decent amount. Probably 20 or 30. 30 or 40. 50 or 90.
Clank Catacombs. Yeah. There's a few.
There's a lot.
There's 2 new unmatched sets we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah.
Octopus. Wow. There's a few.
There's a decent amount. Now, granted, we get games a lot, and so sometimes a lot of them are new. The more question is, like, what game have we had for like a year and not played? That's a bigger question. Because it's like Clank Catacombs we just got, right? So it's like...
Ooh, James, I hear. Maybe Eclipse. I think maybe Eclipse.
Maybe.
There's just too much luck involved for a game that is so long and so dependent on, like, the combat and exploring the galaxy. I'm just like, well, yeah. You got a thing that is amazing. And I got like $4. I'm like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I just have also had bad luck and I had bad dice luck. So I'll go in Eclipse on that. I'm like, I don't think. But here's the thing. It's a big, heavy game. It's more the thing like, I don't think it should be in the top 100 Board Game Geek. It's not my kind of game. But it's also that whole list is subjective anyway. So it doesn't matter that I disagree.
The crazy goals, honestly, I would probably say Everdell. I think Everdell's fine.
It is, sure. Yeah.
I think it's fine.
Yeah.
I've never
we
understood
sort of played
why
it out a
was
little bit. And
quite as popular as it is.
There's a million expansions we have, of course, not tried. But I'm also like, I just can't.
It's too much.
Can't.
It's a weird question. Have you come back to Dungeon Pets since you were playing heavier games? If so, do you see a difference now, and do you enjoy it as much? I think we definitely enjoy it as much. There's definitely some fiddly things that I don't love about it now.
Yeah.
Like mostly like having to choose like groups of your little imps. In terms of the heaviness, though, it doesn't feel very heavy anymore, which kind of goes to show like that we play a lot heavier games now. But I still enjoy it. It's probably still my top 100. I really love Dungeon Pets. That'll probably be one of those games that like always sticks around for me personally, just because I have so much history with it.
Yeah, it's such a. I mean, that is a keystone game in the early days of our. It's never going anywhere because I think it's one of those ones that gets a pass forever.
Yeah.
Based
for
on
getting us into thematic Euros, because that was the game that got us into thematic Euros.
Vidger agrees on Everdell. Yeah, it's not any hate. I'm just sort of. It's wild how much it's content's been made for it.
And I mean that's the thing is because I mean it has buoyed that entire company. I mean that is their game. I mean they have huge boosts and cons, and it's all just because of Everdell. Which goes so if you have like one mega hit.
Yeah,
what it can do for that company, right? It's like, and I've always thought I really dislike the fact that like my game can end, but other people can be playing for like another half hour. There's definitely been games where I'm like, I've been done 20 minutes before everyone else, and I don't know. I think that game is fine, and it was buoyed by the art and the theme a bit.
Oh, yeah, it's a great theme.
And yeah, I think it's fine. And Far Shore seems fine. It's 95% Everdell. So if you don't like Everdell, it's not going to change your mind. I think Everdell's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. So there's no other questions, everybody. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for all those questions. Thank you for the super chats. Y'all were incredibly nice. Thank you. Jeez.
Incredibly generous. We appreciate it. Yeah, coming soon. We have a lot of fun stuff on the channel, so stick around. Barcelona playthrough next week. We're going to be covering the new expansion for Lost Ruins of Arnak before Gen Con. We'll be covering Sky Team, which is a 2-player campaign game about flying a plane. Before Gen Con, we have a roast video coming out, anticipated games from Gen Con list coming. Lots of stuff. It's going to be a nice, busy month. If you haven't already, I see some hearts coming in. Get some thumbs up on this video. We really appreciate that. And after this video ends, drop a comment with a favorite game you played, new to you, old, whatever. Whatever just was like, man, that was amazing.
That was it.
Put that in the comments.
Jay, we probably will be doing not necessarily Gen Con preview. We'll be doing our top 10 anticipated games from
what
Gen
we're
Con.
kind of personally excited
That'll probably
for.
be next week or the week after that. But yeah, so it'll be the 10 games that we're personally most excited for. All right, everybody, we'll go ahead and get on out of here. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate you. And we'll see you later.
All right, bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.